morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nierenstein, and this is Vehicle Virgins. Today we are taking out my 2020 Huracan Evo Spider and determining how fast it can actually go from 0 to 60 miles an hour. At this point, pretty much everybody knows that the Huracan has an incredibly fast 0 to 60 time. Lamborghini claims it can do 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. Now, Motor Trend, Car and Driver have gotten this on the street down to 2.5. Now, for reference, a Bugatti Veyron does 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds, the same amount of time. A Bugatti Chiron, 2.4, so it's literally a tenth of a second off of a $3.5 million hypercar. It's just as fast as a P1. Actually, it's faster than a P1 to 60 miles an hour, and it's just as fast as the LaFerrari as well. Now, we can sit outside the car and talk about it all day long, but I'd rather just demonstrate it for you. So I've got a couple really cool pieces of equipment that are gonna help us test the 0 to 60 time 100% accurately. That brings us to this bad boy, the Vbox data logger, which uses GPS to track the car's position and velocity and thus find its acceleration from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Gonna put this on the windshield. All right, let's fire this thing up. Ignition. Now, the tires, as the astute observer will note, show a little bit low on the tire pressure, and there is a reason for that. I'll get to that in a bit. All right, bye-bye radar detector for now, and hello Vbox. All right, the Vbox has come to life. As you can see on the screen, it shows a 0 to 60, it shows 0 to 100 miles an hour, 0 to 100 to 0, as well as a Vmax that shows the car's top speed during that session, as well as your current speed right there. Oh man, as it backed out, look at that, Vmax 3.3 miles an hour. We're going quick out here. Out in the Lamborghini Huracan, the sound of this never gets old. Listen to those pops and cracks. Oh my God. All right, we got a little straightaway coming up. Oh my God. I will say though, it is 94 degrees out, and traditionally with testing performance cars, 50 to 55 degrees is a lot better. That way the intake air temperatures are cooler, the car doesn't pull any timing, and the performance of the car is just better when it's cooler weather. It's kind of this optimum balance of having temperature in the tires, as you can see it's quite hot out, as well as making sure the engine temperatures don't get too high. Oh yes, Las Vehicle Virginus Road, my favorite. Florid! The acceleration in the Huracan Evo really is something special. Because of that all-wheel drive and naturally aspirated power plant, the ability to floor the car in first and second gear with instantaneous takeoff and absolutely no wheel spin is ridiculous. At lower speeds, cars accelerate a lot quicker. You're fighting against a lot less drag through the air, and just because of gear ratios, first and second gear typically have higher rates of acceleration. That being said, a lot of performance cars are rear wheel drive, meaning they fight for traction off the line, and if you floor it at 30 or 40 miles an hour where you're getting this maximum acceleration in the Huracan, you get wheel spin in cars like the 812 Superfast or something like a 488 Pista. So that combination of low down torque and impressive power, the naturally aspirated powertrain, and the ability to have grip because of its all-wheel drive nature just provides an insane on-road experience, because you know most of the time you're obviously not going well over 100 miles an hour. So that 20 to 60 mile an hour pull is where the Huracan absolutely kills it. I love the canyons near my house. This stuff is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. The mountains, the views, the roads, such an epic combo, guys. Seriously, if you're ever out in Southern California, the Malibu Canyons are the best. I love this area, guys. Look at all these old buildings. Looks like an old Western movie. Sometimes they have car meets out here, actually, right off of Mulholland Drive. Got this creepy one-way bridge. Good old Mulholland Drive, man. Tons of motorcycle meetups there, good food. I miss the Snake. The Snake used to be a portion of Mulholland Drive that was some of the best turns in all of Southern California. Unfortunately, they closed that down during the fires. It was a big street racing area, but it was like the best place to go meet up with your friends, hang out at the Snake Overlook, and then just rip the twisties. Fortunately, law enforcement doesn't agree with that. Here we go. First gear. Oh my God. For those that have ever seen the show, The Bachelorette House, the driveway, boom. En route right now to one of the best spots to do 0 to 60 runs, perfectly flat, deserted area, and on the way, well, there's some epic tunnels coming up. And the best part is, yeah, there's another one right after it. All right, guys, so we're at the stretch of road, which has to be absolutely the flattest piece of road in all of the Calabasas, Malibu area. What you guys don't know, who haven't been to the area, is there are so many hills and mountains in California. I'm jealous of my boy Drag Times, who's out there in Florida. Everything's perfectly flat, and there are tons of straightaways, but it's harder to find out here. But I found this place that actually is amazingly straight and flat for doing some 0 to 60 tests. Now, what are we gonna do with the Huracan? We've got it here. And one trick to get faster acceleration times in these cars is to lower the tire pressure in the rear. Right now, we're rocking about 36 PSI. The semi-annoying part about the Lamborghini is it actually reads it in barometric pressure, so it says 2.5 bar, which when you're trying to convert to PSI, unless you know that off the top of your head, you're gonna have to use a calculator, or you're gonna have to use just something online. You just do, what's 28 PSI into barometric pressure, and it turns out it's 1.93. So let's do it. All right, rear tire number 1, let's lower the pressure. And tire number 2. I love the way these center lock wheels look, guys. So freaking cool. And go ahead and click this button here. There we go, both the rear tires at 1.9 bar. All right, now we're ready to launch it. As I've stated in the past, the Huracan Evo has 2 different launch control modes. That's a first for the Huracan. The first mode is the normal mode, as you'd expect in any Lamborghini if you've ever driven one before, but if not, I'll tell you, is you select down to Corsa mode, then you hold ESC off, no ESC, then you floor the brake and the gas, and then it revs up, and then you release the brake. Now the second launch mode is actually this almost full rear wheel drive launch that causes crazy wheel spin. That's a new thing for the Huracan. They didn't have it in the old gen that I had, and that is to put it into sport mode, turn traction control off, and then there is a second type of launch. But since we are going for 0 to 60 times, we're gonna use the most effective launch that has more of a all-wheel drive bias. It's still mostly rear-wheel drive. We're gonna go into Corsa mode, traction control all the way off, and see what it does. Corsa mode, traction control off. 2.6 seconds for the first run. I am incredibly impressed. Smash that thumbs up button for the Huracan's performance. And guys, if you're not already subscribed, smash that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on. Let's run it back for a second and a third time. Floor the gas. 2.7 seconds. I gotta say, I honestly can feel the car heat soaking. I'm heat soaking personally as a human being. It is so hot. It's still 92 degrees. How is it 92 degrees at 6 p.m.? I know that with that 2.6 second first run, likely the third run, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be 2.8 seconds because the car is just, it's slowing down. But I'm 99.999% positive that this car is capable of a 2.4 second 0 to 60 run on a prepped surface, not the street where there might be a little bit of dust or gravel or something that causes a little uneven launch in nature. I know this car can do a 2.4. Brooks apparently from Drag Times ran a 2.5 in his car, a little bit better conditions, probably a little bit cooler. At 2.4 seconds, that's literally faster than a Bugatti Chiron. Haven't gotten there yet, so we gotta prove it, you know, to make that claim. But I'm confident it'll happen. 2.6 though, 0.1 seconds slower than a Chiron or a Veyron. That's ridiculous. Good job, Lamborghini. Look at that, 2.6 seconds yet again. Let's go. So guys, that is pretty insane. 2.6 seconds, 0 to 60. Now the craziest part is that I know the car is capable of more. I could feel off the line, potentially because of the tune, that it was spinning the tires a little bit. You guys know these aren't my favorite tires in the world. These are standard Pirelli P0s that honestly, I don't get why they put on these cars. If it had Trofeo Rs or Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, the car would get more grip off the line, and I'm positive that would make up that 0.2 second difference. Same with the temperature. Is it possible on different tires that this thing is capable of a 2.3 seconds 0 to 60 with the slight tune? I very well think so. Regardless, guys, 2.6 seconds, I am incredibly excited, and also how dependable that launch control really is. Just a 1/10 of a second variation in acceleration is unbelievably impressive. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I'm loving this car. I hope you guys are too. Look forward to seeing you next video.